How to run a presentation. Opening, opening, welcoming and introducing, welcoming and introducing. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Or good afternoon, everybody. My name is and I'm at. My name is and I'm at. My name is Juan and I'm an assistant manager at warehouse. My name is Juan and I'm an assistant manager at warehouse. The topic of my presentation is. The topic of my presentation is. The topic of my presentation is forklift operation. The topic of my presentation is forklift operation. Or today I'd like to talk to you about. Today I'd like to talk to you about. Overview. I'd like to divide my presentation into three main parts. I'd like to divide my presentation into three main parts. First of all, I talked about. First of all, I'll talk about. Secondly, we'll look at. Secondly, we'll look at. And finally, I will explain. I will tell you about. Finally, I will explain. Tell you about. Timing. My presentation will take about. My presentation will take about. My presentation will take about 15 minutes. My presentation will take about 15 minutes. Introducing your first topic or first part. Let's start with. Let's start with. Or so let's get started. So let's get started. Finishing a topic or a part. So that covers everything I want to talk about. So that covers everything I want to talk about. Linking. Now, let's move to the next part, which is. Now, let's move to the next part, which is. Or, now, let's turn to the second part. Now, let's turn to the second part. Or, next, let's move. Next, let's move to the second part. Referring to graphs, charts. As you can see on this chart, as you can see on this chart, or take a look at this chart. Take a look at this chart, or this graph clearly shows. This graph clearly shows. Summary and conclusion. That brings me to the end of my presentation. That brings me to the end of my presentation. That's all of my presentation. That's all of my presentation. Conclusion. To conclude, I'd like to talk. To conclude, I'd like to talk. Thanking and inviting to ask questions. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for your listening. Thank you for your listening. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.